Thinkers. It's been 4 months since I've done one of these, and fingers crossed the latency issues I've been having with my internet are not going to present themselves today. At least not as bad as last time. Last time was pretty bad. So, it's been 4 months, like I said, since I have live streamed anything related to the book. So, quick updates. One, Draft 1 and Draft 2 are both done. I finished Draft 2 like a week ago, if even. And yeah, pretty good. Pretty happy with it. And right now, I'm kind of doing all the tweaking, formatting specific things. So timeline is huge right now. If you've tuned into previous episodes, you'll understand that everything I'm going to say is spoilers. I'm literally reading the book like straight from it. All right. Second off, the timeline, the action, the character work, character voice, quotes, little nuances like chapter titles, chapter quotes, all the specific stuff is pretty nitpicky, and that's where Draft 3 is going to be. So I'm kind of like reading aloud everything, and I'm tweaking specific individual parts to then port it over to the design lab to then work on all the formatting. So probably next stream will be me literally just taking stuff and transferring it over and then tweaking on the fly. But for this one, I'm going to try to read through, kind of skim read and find pieces of action. So this is my first book. Obviously, I'm not the greatest when it comes to writing action. I've got like 12 years of D&D experience, but that only goes so far. So I've got with me the little book here, little rule book, The Elements of Style, and I'll be referring to that a couple times as I try to, again, tweak things. It's still with my editor and with the beta readers, so occasionally you'll see comments up here, and I'll probably tweak on those too. But yeah, for the most part, I'm trying to just get little nuances as I set up the design lab, because you have to do specific things before you port everything in that just save you a lot of time. And it's sitting at 625 pages of just the book itself. That doesn't include the index, the foreword, the acknowledgments, the glossary, and then all the little special pages that show, hey, this is copyrighted, and hey, this is that, and then about the author. So give or take probably another 30, 40 pages added to it, as well as each end of the chapter will have an additional page that is a picture or a painting. So that's another 33 pages. So we're probably looking at like 670, 680 pages with a word count of, let's see, roughly 190,000 words. So that is a beefy boy. Not nearly as Stormlight or Lord of the Rings, but it's a big one. And if I haven't prefaced this already, this book is nitty gritty. It is not for the faint of heart. It's not like I'm going in this trying to gross out or get people feeling squeamish. I just try to keep it as real as I can while still having that element of, obviously, it's fiction. And I myself have not been in any sort of facet of any crime, organized crime at all, whether through reading about it or getting directly into it. All of this stuff is essentially just made up by me. Now, granted, it's rooted in what I hope is decent research, but it'll be up to kind of the reader to decide how good it is. Because, yeah, there are a lot of things brought up in here that are not for the faint of heart. Yeah, like you can see right there. But so chapter 3 is the first chapter that kind of gets into action, right? It's the first kill. If you see anything that's highlighted in green, chances are that's something that relates to the overall timeline or a plot beat that I don't want to miss. So I kind of highlighted that to then port it over to the major timeline and then link everything together. Ultimate goal of no plot holes, but we know how that goes. Let's see. So I'm trying to find the first piece of action, which should be closer to the end of it. Here's him meeting Charlotte. Biggies, beans, and burritos. Another thing I want to kind of put forward is he has a couple different character motivations, but he needs like thematically reasons for what he's doing. And one of the scenes made me realize, and one of the beta readers helped me to contextualize that I kind of write this almost like a noir. He treats it very much like he's an old school detective, 1940s black and white film. And I don't know where that exactly came from stylistically. It just happened. But somebody mentioned it, and I was like, oh, I like that. That's really good. So I go back in and I give some foreshadowing, which gives him, more of that character buildup. But he says, beyond that, I've watched at least 1,000 detective and noir movies. Growing up, that was my shit. Many hours are spent indulging the likes of Sherlock Holmes, Rand Montague, Hercule Poirot, I'm butchering that, the Hardy Boys, Inspector Clouseau, and of course, Carmen Sandiego. For me, that was all I wanted to be when I grew up. Hours upon hours, days upon days, I would spend the time learning how to investigate things around the neighborhood or at the commune. Now I get to live a little of that dream, albeit with a few caveats. So, Rand Montague is the one that I made up for the series. It's the, if you've seen Star Trek Next Generation, how, oh my gosh, Patrick Stewart's character, wow, I think I need a little bit more of this as I'm still waking up here. Jean-Luc, right? He has a fascination with old detective movies too, and occasional filler episodes will see him acting as his favorite detective character, whose name just totally evades me right now, and I hate that it evades me. But that is an important piece of character for him because you see him as, the serious like guy in charge throughout the series, but then you get the times where he gets to have fun and enjoy himself and be a little silly and kind of build that character. And so I wanted to take that idea of, main character enjoying some sort of facet where then we can relate that directly into it, because you get the best type of action and surprise comes through juxtaposition. And the big juxtaposition is seen especially in kill number 3, which is Bell, and he gets the opportunity to get to do the lamp bit, right? When the person walks in and it's dark, and then the detective like turns on the lamp and it, hits them with that one-liner. He gets to do that. He gets so excited and he's like giddy like a schoolboy because he's like, this is the moment. This is the final moment that I get to do this. And when he does it, it then leads to just like utter disaster where he completes it and he gets that movie moment, but then his rage kind of kicks in. That injustice fuel happens, and he just like brutally ends her life, and it's horrendous and it's horrific, and he understands that. But it's the stark juxtaposition of him being like, oh my gosh, like this was the best possible thing I could do, like a bucket list, to just like horrible times. And yeah, I definitely wanted to create something that could have those fun moments, but then will ultimately go back into those darker themes. And like, obviously growing up, I read stuff like this, main character and all the characters, the whole story, all of it relates to something at some point in my life, because we go off of our own experiences, right? Yeah, as my family, who I'm assuming is the only one watching this right now, which cracks me up. Yeah, no, I did read a lot of the Hank the Cowdog books growing up. There was that like pseudo-investigative work ones that I really enjoyed when I was like 10 or 11. But let's see, the action. Let's see. Oh yeah, so first action piece actually is before the kill even happens. So he's trying to get into this area that is filled with gangsters. Everybody's watching everything, right? And he's like, well, the easiest way I want to do is be able to start a fight. So a few basic clues I realized they're sweeping everyone for guns and barring those packing. No fights here, I bet. So get up in line. I push the guy in front of me into the next. He turns around swinging by a duck, but I duck, and his punch lands on the one behind me. Gangster behind me. Then the race is on. I hate then. So we'll do, if it wants to let me edit, the race is on. Everyone joins in. Fist swinging, punches landing, and kicks slamming. Do kicks slam? Punches land, obviously. Kicks colliding, I think might be better. That's collide. Yeah. I roll out of the way of one big burly guy and use commotion distraction. That is an unnecessary word. To slip by the crack pipe bouncer and push towards the back. That is unnecessary. So, as I relate, obviously, to the book here, I have not finished reading this. However, I've already gleaned a lot of really good lessons from this. And one of the big lessons is in kicks connecting. Yeah, that's kicks colliding, kicks connecting. I guess that would be not a bad point. Because like fists swinging, punches landing, kicks colliding. Yeah, I think connecting. I like that. Kicks connecting. And it has that, not onomatopoeia. What is it? Alliteration. That's what it is. It's that k sound, which I do love me some good alliteration. But conciseness is the huge first lesson that I took away from this, even though it's lesson like 12, I want to say. But the unnecessary words can just, they add fluff for no reason. Essentially trim as much fluff as possible. It'll read more concise and it'll read better, right? So obviously, draft 2, I got the story behind it and I got the good pacing going. But draft 3 is very nitty gritty specific details. And so as I reread it, I will always find more words can be removed. Let's see. Rear of the malls must run down businesses. Has mostly run down businesses and is the ideal location to scale up to the roof. There's a fire escape I noted earlier, rusty enough to be ignored, yet sturdy enough to utilize behind an abandoned clothing store. Unnecessary. Dark, discreet, and empty, just the way I like it. I get to it, the ladder is mostly broken rungs and tetanus waiting to happen. Get to it. When I arrive, the ladder is broken rungs and tetanus. I scan around for an alternative until they fall on a dumpster a few yards away with wheels. Score, that should be italicized. It groans and moans. I love how italicizing causes it to lag. All right. It groans as I push it to the escape exit. Smells of many varieties threaten to overwhelm my eyes. I love how it's like, has broken. No. Is broken. I don't know if that's the proper verbiage for that, but you know what? I'm rolling with it. The ladder is broken rungs and tetanus. Is. Actually, you know what I can do? Is shards covered in tetanus. There we go. Because it's personifying it. Well, it's a little personification there. It groans as I push it to the east. It groans as I push it. Wow. Already I know that I could go through and probably remove like at least 20,000 words, give or take. Smells of many varieties threaten to overwhelm my eyes. It reeks. As I vault up and vault up to the top of the ladder. So a couple times I will probably have words that I could definitely remove if I used possessive nouns. However, I am, as a stylistic choice for the main character and the fact that he is the narrator, I am completely removing apostrophes. Now, other people's character dialogue will 100% be filled with apostrophes. Like that's the point. However, the idea is to create almost like a jarring, robotic sense to his inner thoughts and monologue. And it's interesting because a lot of amateur books and like first stage indie novels have a tough time with using apostrophes. People don't use it enough. And so you get very jarring, robotic dialogue as a common sign of inexperienced writing. However, I'm taking that and flipping it on its head and saying, no, this is the intentional. And the other characters are using it even more so to create this like separation between main character's dialogue and everybody else. So hopefully that jarringness will kind of help it out. All right, let's continue on. Once onto the stairs. I also try for each paragraph that every sentence should start with a different word. I don't want the, I, my. I don't want any of that. So sometimes the sentences will be intentionally obscured to have that as well. Reeks, so I vault up to the top. Don't even need up the ladder. Once onto the stairs, I could just say, the stairs. So I don't have any of these. Sway a little. Joy. I look around. Thankful no one is watching. And I use thankfully next. Okay, yep. Okay. So I know that a dangling participle, I want to say. Let me for sure Google that because I am pretty sure that a dangling participle is where you have the action, or because like the structure of a sentence breaks down where you have the noun is verbing, right, to create the whole sentence. And if you swap where you say the actioning is coming from the noun, then I'm pretty sure that's a dangling participle. You can swap it around. So like for this sentence specifically, it says, thankfully the stairs hold as I make it to the top. Step 1 complete. I am thinking about changing it to saying like, I make it to the top, the stairs hold. Or something like that, where it's swapping around because I don't want the and the, or the and the. Okay, let's do this. We'll do stairs hold as I make it to the top. I make it are you gonna there we go. Okay, I make it to the top. The stairs held on. The stairs barely holding on. The rooftop has excellent overwatch and little oversight, save for a few roving guards with bright flashlights. Darkness throughout here is thick enough to hide it. I don't need throughout. Darkness here is thick enough to hide in, and I intend to use it. It's concise enough. Electronic music thumps the roof as I crest over the final wall. The roof guard across the way did not spot me, thankfully. I use thankfully a lot. Holy. I would search how many times I use thankfully, but I feel like the dock would crash if I did that. Oh, gosh. Dangling parts. I really want to know. Grammatical error where a participle phrase seems to modify the wrong noun or pronoun, or no noun at all, because the intended subject of the phrase is missing, implied, or misplaced. Okay, so something like this would be an example. Looking out the window, the clouds are beautiful. So this could suggest the clouds were looking out the window. Looking at the window, I saw that the clouds were beautiful. And so creating the I is correcting, or like after finishing dinner, a hot coffee was brought to me. This implies the coffee finished the dinner, versus after I finished dinner, a hot coffee was brought. After I finished dinner, a hot coffee. Okay, gotcha. So it's just missing the possessive part of the noun. So the verb doesn't, like the action doesn't apply specifically to it. So it's not just the misplacement of it, it's the confusing misplacement of it creates a dangling participle. Interesting. All right. Move thankfully. Guard across the way did not spot me. Must be paying too much attention to the ground floor entrances. Don't need must be. Guard, the roof guard across the way did not spot me. Paying too much attention to the ground. He should pay more attention. He should be more aware of his surroundings. I'm only 30 yards or so away. Don't need or so. Could remove that specific. I am not that far away. There is a roof hatch. Don't really need, there is a roof hatch in the center, a door off to the left. That must can be probably leading to the stairwell. From what I saw at the schematics, club is on the main floor with a loft wrapping around, serving as the second floor. I don't need wrapping around. They loft. Lofts inherently wrap around, right? Like, because like a loft is a jut out. It's not a full floor. Yeah. Offices are in the back left corner of the loft. The basement, the end of the hallway. That reads weird. Offices are in the back left corner of the loft. The basement at the end of a hallway. I'm just gonna nix that sentence because that's a kind of unnecessary sentence. Just do that. First step is take out the cameras. I imagine they are in the loft office. Most likely. I used probably earlier, I believe. Roof hatch, blah, blah, blah. From what I saw, the schematics, the club is on the main floor, with a loft serving as the second floor. First step is to get the cameras. Probably in the, I don't know. I guess I can just use probably again. Probably in the loft office. The hatch opens smooth and silent. I could just put silently. Don't need two adjectives. Opens silently, but the inside is anything but that. But the inside is the opposite. Large multi-tiered dance floor is flooded with pulsing neon lights and intoxicated revelers. I like that sentence. Some new age techno music shaking the building and entering the minds of those below. There's a rotation of armed guards. Paired armed guards of armed pair. There's rotation of. There is a pair of rotation. Gosh, because I don't like two apiece circling the loft. There is a rotation of armed guards circling the loft. Because I want to specify how many guards there are, but I don't know if that's necessary. There's a rotation of armed guards. There are rotations of I just need to completely redo the sentence. Pairs of armed guards circle the loft. Fortunately, the loft, I don't want to say, fortunately, there is a waist-high wall obstructing views from below. No other patrons, save for some. No other patrons besides VIPs are up here. Looks like the VIP booths are next to the office. Could get dicey. So again, trying to describe the setting and the area of it without like overdoing it. I don't need to sit there and go, well, this person is at this location at this specific time and they look like this and blah, 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 blah. I'm trying to keep the action to as much, theater of mind as I can. That coffee is so cold. I close the roof hatch and make my way to the stairs. With any luck, there will not be any cameras inside. My hand reaches for the door when complication 2 enters the picture. Don't need my hand. Just say while reaching for the door. Complication number 2 enters the 2 appears. The guard across the way finally looks up, flicks his light, and sees me. Hey, you! Stop what you're doing! He raises his gun as he screams, I don't really need that. Raises his gun. I make a split-second decision and hit the ground. hit the deck. Just kind of say, I hit the deck. I don't need a split-second decision. We all know it's a split-second decision. Raises his gun. I hit the deck. No fire. No shots. But I hear him get on his radio. Remove that too. I hear him key his radio. Time to move. I open and step out to the stairwell landing. The camera points right at me. Fuck. Single shot to the lens gives me about 60 seconds before the security realizes it is out. I don't need it. Saying that for security realizes two-time pressures make complications 3 and 4. Two-time constraints. Pressure is definitely not the right word for that. Two-time constraints make complications 3 and 4. Constraints, a little different. Down the stairs as the song inside crescendos. My pistol goes in the holster and out comes my rifle. Pistol goes in the holster and out comes my rifle. I can just remove this sentence and out comes my rifle. There we go. Deep breath. Center myself. Engage in the moment. Let me stylistically engage in the moment. My shoulder brushes the door. Beyond is the loft. The south side opposite the office door. Tension. The beat drops. Oof. I remember writing this like out the gate, and there was a song I was listening to that I lined up perfectly with this. Oh my goodness, so good. So you'll see incrementally that it says the beat drops, and that's because the beat was actually dropping as I was writing it, and it felt good and it felt right. So it's hard because I can't like exactly time the song to match up with this without it being in like a movie. But hopefully that headcanon will work out with it. Hello, random viewer. I would love to pronounce your name, but I don't think I will be able to. So, let's see. 2 guards on my right side have their backs turned. And with a few somewhat well-placed shots to their legs, they fold. I don't know. I don't like the way that sentence reads. Rush out the door and sprint towards the office. 2 guards on my right side have their backs turned. And with a few somewhat well-placed shots, they fold. I think I'll remove that. 2 down, 2 to go. Both guards around the left side notice and fire. Don't need to shoot at me. I know they're not going to shoot anywhere else. I dive down below the barrier as the bullets chew into the wall behind me. Ungracefully? Is that a word? Ungracefully. slam down. I slam into the barrier as the bullets chew into the wall behind me. Crawl towards the office across the stained carpet. Across the stained carpet. I crawl. Across the stained carpet, I drag myself. Stained carpet. You can just nix that, actually. I don't even need that. Beat picks up, edging towards the next drop. No shots come. They must be flanking. Can turn that into a question. Flanking? Reach the corner of the barrier and peek around. Sure enough. Don't need sure enough. Reach the corner of the barrier and peek around. One is creeping my way. Pop up and put two to his chest, aiming for the shoulders. Two to his shoulders. He drops his rifle. Two to his shoulders, he drops his rifle. Two shots to his, I'll say arm. Shoulder's too specific. Two shots to his arm, he drops his rifle. The other guard reacts too slow, and the bullets whiz over my head. One, don't need to specify bullets. One slams into the VIP booth behind me and paints the wall in red. Screams either side of the unintended victim. Screams echo. Nope. Screams from either side. That's what I was missing. I knew I needed something. The office door is unlocked, and I managed to duck in before the other guard catches up. I slam the lock and turn around to see two more guards stunned in silence. The beat drops. I drop my rifle and shoot the one at the desk. Shoot one at the desk, his hand reaching towards a panic button. Nix that. Shoot one at the desk in his leg. Drop my rifle and shoot one at the desk in his leg. I don't need at the desk. His hand reaching towards a panic button. He pitches sideways. The other guard makes the smart move and holds up both. I don't need both his hands. Holds up his hands. And smiles meekishly. I lower my rifle a bit, slam the butt stock into his face. My buttstock slams into his face. Cartilage crunches. Nose breaks. But he will live. Sure enough. Again, I do sure enough. They see my eye. Cool. They noticed the broken camera and already alerted the security chief. Complication number 5. We'll add that to a new paragraph. Shoot the computer tower 3 times, then a 4th out of anger. Never expect a mission to go easy. Only make it harder. Expecting an easy mission will only make it harder. That rolls off the tongue a little better. There's a panel on the wall above the monitors that seems to be, don't need seems to be. There's a panel on the wall. Panel on the wall. Master lock and unlock feature. The security doors. Need the panel underneath. Don't need the panel. Underneath hangs the master key card. I just put hangs a key card. Score. Italicized. I slam. You do be slamming a lot. I hit the all lock button and snatch the key card. Quick combat reload. Ready myself against the door. Yeah. Pull the shades back on the windows. Window. See the other guard mustering a few other armed men outside. I can just put mustering others outside. The tempo increases, inching ever so close to the next drop. Could remove that. The next drop beckons once more onto breach, I suppose. Deep breath. Feel the intercom. Focus. You have got this. You got this. The beat drops. I slam out. Again, he do be slamming. I careen out. Spray the first 3 guys I see before throwing myself behind the barrier to the left. So he do and then okay. That's believable. I toss a smoke gate around the corner and pop up just as their attention is diverted. The smoke billows out from my grenade and down onto the dance floor. The canister I toss down onto the dance floor. Partiers must think it's part of the show. Partiers part. The DJ is confused. He looks up to see the muzzle flashes from my rifle take out the other 2 guards. His eyes land on me, and I swiftly turn to stare at him. I stare at him. He raises his hands in deference and goes back to mixing. Good. Stairs down to the basement, bypass the main floor. Thankfully, again, don't need thankfully there. Boop. My feet slam the ground in time with the beat, making fast work. Stairs. In the last step, I slip as I hit a puddle of what I can hope is spilled beer. The beat drops once more, this time me with it. Scramble to my feet. I see a hallway lined with rooms, lined with doors. Lights are dimmed and flicker as the music from above sends tufts of dust sprinkling down. I can definitely see tufts of dust sprinkling down. Good words. Down low, I sneak to the first door and peer into the peephole. Immediately I regret it. I don't like those sentences. The doors have little windows showing the horrors inside. These are the showrooms. Oh man. I test each handle and find that they are locked. Success. Each door has a keypad next to it and a slot for a card. Hell yeah. I don't mind that. The final door on the left is the office, and inside I see the head of security struggling. The final door on the left. The last door is the office. The security office. I see the head of security struggling with the door. He looks up through the glass window and sees me smiling. We make eye contact. I smile. Takes 2 steps back with his hands raised. Let's see if this glass is bulletproof or not. Let us see. Time to see. Let us see. Bulletproof glass? Question mark. Raise our rifle. I have not seen the target. Lower my rifle on the ground, confused. Then. I hate then. Thens are stupid. My burner phone rings. Everywhere has been searched. But I have not seen the target. Our phone rings. Hello, can you hear me? Charlotte asks over the line. Yes, what is it? Do you have eyes on? I demand. You just left through the alley door. Something about a breach of security. Can only assume what that is about. What that's about. She adds snarkily. Snarkily? That's a word. It's just a snarkily. She adds snarkily. I do love that word. Want me to tail him? Yes, no, maybe, fuck. No, stall him. Be out in the alley in a moment. Break for the stairs once more. As I reach the end of the hall leading to the bottom, I look up and see 2 more guards running down. That is a big sentence for no reason. 2 guards meet me there. Yeah! Wow. The internet is just so worth $80 a month. They both notice me at the same time, fumble for the weapons. Wow, this is just amazing. All right, they fumble for their weapons. Mine is... Yep, I don't need that. 4 shot. It takes 4 shots to send it tumbling down the stairs, but down the steps past me. Upward. No looking back. Door to the alley is ajar, and I burst through it. Good thing he didn't slam through. Ah, gosh dang it, he slams in the metal right. I burst through it. Stopping. No, I just burst through it. Charlotte stands next to a black Suburban, comma, talking to the driver, speaking with, talking to, chatting with, chatting to, chatting with. On cue, she sees me, screams, and runs. He turns around just long enough for me to shoot out the back tires. I attempt to peel out, but he hits rims almost immediately. His window rolls up, and I start mag dumping. Don't need at the car. For the sake of morality, I imagine they were all big pieces of shit. Oh gosh. It soothes my conscience, but only a little. The passenger door swings open. A man books it out and around the corner. Comes out and around the corner of the alley. No other doors open. Must have hit the mark at least a few times. One can assume must have hit the mark at least a few times. I run after the fleeting man. He bobs and weaves into the crowd of people in front of the mall. Some try to shove back or curse him out, but he's already by them. Another car waiting in the parking lot. Oh, another car. Waits in the parking lot with the door open. Sprinting for all my legs are worth, I try to sight in and lay down some fire on the cop. Each shot misses. They let the driver know to start inching forward. As the man shoves out of the crowd, I see it is my target. Fuck yeah. Try one more shot at him, but only skin his arm. He screams in fury, but does not break stride until he is in the car. Yeah, I don't need that part. Does not break stride. Screams in fury. Black Tahoe peels out of the lot. Managed to put a few shots at the rear window, causing it to shatter. My car is not nowhere near. It is not fast enough to catch the Rogue Tahoe. So I use what the Army taught me: steal shit. I run up to a biker, and raise my gun at him. No questions asked. He steps off and gestures defeat. He must have stolen it too, since there's no license plate. I feel a smidge better. Somewhat safely on. I rev and roar after the car. Wow. Gotta love my friends are so supportive. Anyway, my car is not fast enough to catch the reptile, blah, blah, blah. He must, okay. I feel a smidge better. Somewhat safely on. I rev and soar. I rev after the car. I soar. I think I soar. The car, which has a massive head start. Just my luck. The traffic is dense. By the time he weaves right and merges onto the highway, closing fast. I thread between. This could be a new paragraph. Just my luck. The traffic is dense. By the time he weaves right and merges onto the highway, I'm closing fast. Thread between two semis and spit out right behind. Right behind him. He sees me and veers left, cutting off. Sees me and veers left, cutting off another vehicle. Horns honk. Okay, I can just put honking. Honking, lights flashing, curses ringing out. Tighten my grip and speed after him. He's almost within shooting distance, but not quite. Not. Whoop. That gave me a wonky knot. Not quite within shooting distance. His car flies around the lanes in a frenzy. I don't need borderline insanity. Friendly dancing to some rhythm unknown. That is also a unnecessary sentence. Takes all my focus just to keep on his tail. Impossible to draw on my pistol. Fuck. As his speed increases even more, I notice him start trailing towards an exit. He starts trailing towards an exit. He's going to take that way too fast. As he merges over. Would you expect to lift on us as we careening over the ledge? Tricky bastard. I wish they would make a highway that had a shoulder instead of making me fear for my life with the sheer elevation and little protection. Unnecessary. The gambit between the two of us. Continues for several miles. Let's speed up. He speeds up and leaves before slamming on the brakes. Wow, wrong brakes. Brakes. Well, I try everything to just stay on his tail. Traffic starts thinning. His driver notices and slams again. He do be slamming. Do you want a workie? All right. I guess you don't want to remove slams. I guess the dog loves when he slams. Sweet mercy. Trevor notices and stomps on his brakes, spinning around and facing me. Skaboosh. Spinning around to face me. Then he guns it. He guns it. Uh-oh. Stepping steadily while going 120. 120 is typically not advisable. Eh? Live streaming.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm almost done.
Okay. Am I get to take the honor out?
Yeah. You can do the honor. Yeah.
Basket.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a clean basket. Yeah, that's a clean basket.
Nice.
Okay. Let's see. He guns it. Uh-oh. Stopping suddenly, we're going 120. It's typically not advisable. Swing around his left and decelerate. Uh-oh. Swing around his left and decelerate steadily so as to not eat shit. Dryer balls. Median. Let's see. Time I flick around, he is heading down the exit ramp towards the city limits. For the median, I hop and follow suit. Phone is ringing, but I ignore it. Probably important, though definitely not right now. Feints left and slams right, heading towards the warehouse district. Let's see. Paragraph. Slams right, heading towards the warehouse district. My rear drifts, and I drifts. Fishtail. Use I fishtail. And quickly cover the distance. Inch closer, tries to shake me off. Focuses on not hitting him, which causes me to not notice the dead end. Quick slam on his emergency bridge, drifts left, heads into the bastard drifts left and into a parking garage. Me, however, I did not slow down nearly fast enough. Instead, pitch into the gravel road. My body flails. So I'm thrown more yards and winning Hail Mary. Slam to the ground and roll another few yards before coming to a skipping hop. Ow. All right, so the action piece there as I can see, I need to do a lot more omission of descriptors and verbiage, especially, I mean, the first probably like 10 chapters, the ones that I wrote and didn't super duper like tweak in terms of the overall story, not so much the editing. They definitely need to be trimmed up. The second part is not as bad, at least as far as I remember. But that should do it for today, at least for right now, as I work to continue to edit, push this forward. But hopefully I'll be able to live stream again here soon. We'll see though. I am busy with a bunch of other stuff, but I still like to at least take some time to put in the effort. But thanks for tuning in. I will see you guys in the next one.